All right, let's talk a little bit about the Chiefs receiving core and all the Rashee Rice shenanigans. But before we get started, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can see more videos just like this to help you win your fantasy football league. Okay, Kyle, this is looking to be the best set of wide receivers Mahomes has had since coming into the league. What do you think?
I completely agree. Unfortunately, Rashee Rice is looking like, because of those shenanigans you spoke of, is going to miss at least part of the season. I don't think he'll miss the whole season, though, since he wasn't caught gambling. But I think he'll miss, possibly up to half of the season. So that's kind of a bummer for redraft purposes. Like, I'm still taking Rice, but significantly later than I would. Worthy is the top guy that I want this year in that receiving core. Marquise Brown, I think, will help cover a lot of the underneath routes and things that Rice would have ran, which will, open up that opportunity for Worthy to kind of seize that deep threat role with his speed over Hollywood. Hollywood's only on a 1-year contract. So if Worthy pans out in this deep threat role, they might not even have him back next year. And so if he can seize control of that role, and then, for dynasty purposes, I'm not panicking on Rice. He'll have a down 2024 because of these legal issues.
Yeah.
But he'll come back next year. It'll be him doing the same thing he did this year, running all these underneath routes and being kind of the go-to receiver, not named Kelsey. And then you'll have Worthy as the deep threat. And even if they bring Hollywood back, him and Worthy will kind of complement each other on the outside. But Rashee Rice, I think, comes back from his suspension and, takes back over that kind of number one receiver role. The question is, can he stay out of trouble after he comes back? That's to be seen. That's to be seen. But as of right now, I'm not panicking on Rashee Rice.
Yeah, it's annoying. He's under a microscope for the car wreck incident and then can't stay out of trouble, even though, like I said, he's being watched like a hawk. So that's really annoying, showing some immaturity. It'll be interesting to see what that suspension looks like, because a suspension is going to happen, especially now that there's a second incident. Yep. So that's a little annoying. Still love him in Dynasty. Him and Mahomes obviously had chemistry there.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about these guys. We got Rashee Rice, Worthy, Marquise Brown, and Kelsey being thrown in there as receiving options, right? That's a lot of mouths to feed. And I know that worries people when it comes to fantasy players, but I'm a pretty firm believer in quality over quantity. And I think that comes into play big time here. You have Patrick freaking Mahomes throwing you the ball in this high-powered offense. I mean, it only takes 2 passes from this guy for you to have a successful, fantasy day. So we've seen that a lot of times in VS, where he just explodes in a game because of that. So it might make some of these guys a little boomer bust. But when you think about having guys like Marquise Brown and Worthy out there, it makes me a little bit more excited for Rice and Kelsey, when Rice is playing, because now they have more receivers they have to respect more. I don't know. I think it's going to open things up for this offense, and they're going to have a hard time. And, you saw these DBs really sucking down and double teaming Kelsey, triple teaming, whatever, they're not going to be able to do that anymore. Or if they decide to, over the top to these fast guys, I would be really scared of this offense if I were a defense facing them. I would want no piece of it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. They've been playing dink and dunk the last few years ever since Tyreek Hill left. They haven't had a legitimate deep threat. MVS was the closest thing, and he's okay. He's not consistent like one of those guys.
Hands. God.
Yeah, so and Kadarius Toney, same way. None of these guys can catch anything, and so they've been really playing a lot of dink and dunk and having Worthy, who has been compared to like Deshaun Jackson, essentially, with between his speed and so it's like that, and having Hollywood on the other side, like that is going to open things back up. And they may keep Hollywood next year. That's fine. I still think Worthy's going to be probably your fastest. Rice is still going to be your go-to guy when he's back. But what all of this tells me also is that Patrick Mahomes may work his way back up to number one atop the fantasy quarterback charts starting as early as this year.
That sounds like a future video of ours.
Could be. Could be crystal ball in that just a little bit.